Good morning from the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your forecaster, Jeff Monk, looking at the planning outlook on the mountains for the coming weekend and beyond. Apologies that we didn't get the video out on the usual Tuesday afternoon or evening. Mixed weather to come over the next few days, although particularly on the lead up into the weekend there will be quite a lot of fine weather which may continue over more eastern mountains into or even through the day on Sunday. Then into next week it is going to be mixed, some rain for most mountain areas, there will be areas of low cloud, and with the wind generally coming up from the south, it's certainly not going to be cold. So trying to put a little bit of detail on that, I've got 6 charts to show you as we'll go through day by day, and really kicking off as we go into the weekend period. By Friday, after showers, Wednesday and Thursday, pressure will be building across the country from the southwest, and many areas will be completely dry. Here and there, though, still a few showers. Not only dry, but the humidity will be fairly low, and that means that most summits, probably nearly all summits, will be free of cloud, and with very good or even excellent superb visibility. There should be some really splendid views from nearly all the highest summits. Winds will also be very light, perhaps still a little bit blustery over northernmost mountains of the Northwest Highlands. As we go into the weekend, we start to see a fall of pressure out to the west, and this means that later in the day, across western Scotland in particular, it will become windy. In fact, by dusk, we could be looking at upland gales. However, that apart, it is going to be a fine day, light winds on most mountain summits, just starting to strengthen from the west later on. A lot of sunshine, particularly on western areas, perhaps the Pennines, eastern mountains in Scotland may find an infill of cloud progressively as the day goes on, possibly East Wales as well. But for many areas, extensive bright sunshine and still very good visibility indeed, particularly high areas. It may just be slight increase of haze during the day. Unfortunately, though, the area of high pressure is not going to last, and by Sunday it will be away toward Scandinavia. The different forecast models show slight differences in how quickly the deterioration spreads into Britain from the west. It does look, though, as if by midday on Sunday it is very likely to have rained or be raining across much of Wales, in toward Cumbria and Galloway, and also perhaps into the West Highlands. Perhaps also Skye. Again, a little bit of play on that, and a tendency for the rain to extend gradually eastwards through the day, albeit that there may be very little all day, the Pennines, the Borders, and, say, Angus, easternmost areas in Scotland. Also, with southerly winds, although some deterioration, not too bad over the northern Northwest Highlands. Bursts of rain here, but not very much. And the other feature I haven't mentioned in these southerly winds is low cloud. Low cloud will shroud much of south and westernmost Wales, Galloway, and up into the southwestern Highlands, in other words, Loch Lomond National Park, up towards the Ben Nevis area, up towards Skye, leaving the northern Northwest Highland, Cairngorms and down the spine of Britain with very little low cloud. Moving on, the next chart is for Monday night, and really it says something about Monday and Tuesday, where we'll still have high pressure to the east. The first low will have weakened, so we will have much lighter winds, but generally still coming up from the south. And broadly speaking, on Monday and Tuesday, we will be talking about areas of low cloud, which don't really show on the chart. All we've got is just residue of rain here and there, Monday and Tuesday. But areas of low cloud, very much over western areas of Britain, probably the whole of South Wales as well, Brecon Beacons, getting into the West Highlands, getting into the southern Northwest Highlands, possibly also getting into the more southern Highlands, Perthshire in other words, in towards Angus as well, perhaps more intermittent cloud here, shrouding the hills on the mountains that are close to the sea where the sea is to the south, that base of a cloud very low indeed, at just a few hundred metres. So I think it's low cloud that's going to plague many western areas early and even into the middle of next week. Nevertheless, I think the wind will have dropped. Some rain here and there, bursts of rain, areas of drizzly rain, particularly in that drizzle, but also dry weather to be had. And probably the best areas will continue to be down the spine of Britain, in other words, the Pennines, particularly southern and central Pennines, and the northern northwest Highlands. And finally, I think we'll actually stop with a chart for midweek, the beginning of Wednesday, which is really saying something about later Tuesday, Wednesday. In other words, by this stage, some uncertainty into how things are going to change. I talk about change though, but broadly, it's actually little change into the middle of the week, with these not cold southerly winds continuing over the mountains, bringing a lot of low cloud to South Wales, westernmost Wales, up the Irish Sea, at times plaguing western South Cumbria, Galloway, up into the West Highlands, Skye, leaving the northern northwest Highlands, much of the Cairngorms, Angus, and down the spine of Britain, with very little low cloud and often dry. Rain and drizzle from time to time in other mountain areas, but rare in those more eastern and northern areas. So probably the driest weather over the week to come will be northern Scotland and also down the spine of Britain. So some mixed conditions, some very good days. So do enjoy the mountains over the next week or so.